Hello and welcome to another MTD podcast. This is a special edition today. I'm joined by three other gentlemen, Joe Reynolds, Giovanni Albanese and Tom Scabula. The theme of this podcast today is all about two shows that we attended over the last couple of weeks. AMB in Germany, in Stuttgart, and then also the IMTS show in Chicago, where we streamed a lot of live streams. We're going to cover as kind of succinctly as we can some of the technologies that we looked at, some of the fun that we had, and really drive you towards the YouTube channel where you can watch a lot of the videos that we shot as well. So that's an important aspect of this podcast. Firstly, I think obviously we'll bring in Tom and Gio to talk about AMB. It was Joe and myself that were at IMTS, as well as a whole host of other colleagues. But you guys over at AMB in Stuttgart, how was the show?
It was absolutely brilliant. One of the best shows I've ever been to, ever.
And how was the journey? Because you don't like getting on planes, Gio.
Well, I took my dad's van. And
how was he, Tom? How was he on the plane?
It was fine, apart from I got stuck with two of them, because there was him and then there was another guy at the side of him who was worse than Gio.
He was on stronger diazepam.
Yeah, so I had a great trip there, just me on my own.
So how did you find out this other guy? Is this someone that... This isn't the cameraman that went with you. This is actually...
I didn't give him any of mine, by the way.
No, Joe was on his diazepam, and this other guy was all hands in his... head in his hands, and just... He was having none of it.
Very scared.
He got hold of his phone, and you could see his hands shivering. I was like...
Now, AMB is a fantastic show. We've been many times, Joe, haven't we? And very well laid out, loads to see. I mean, how many halls were there this time around? 10 halls.
But you can get around them really easily, really quickly, can't you?
Yeah.
It's right by the airport. Probably is one of the best shows out there.
I think the best I've been to. I'd love to get Tom's opinion, but in regards to like world premieres, I think we've seen about 12 world premieres. Some that weren't even at IMTS that were being launched for the very first time in the world. From a technical perspective, the people on the stands were extremely technical. It was the footfall was unbelievable every single day. Tuesday, we were there Tuesday to Friday.
And that was the really hard thing. The IMTS show and the AMB show ran literally side by side, didn't they? So we were in Chicago, you were in Germany. You know, we wanted to kind of be able to come over to Germany to support you, but it was just impossible. I mean, hopefully in the future, these two shows, which are really deemed as international shows, will be, days or weeks apart. But so let's touch on some of the technologies that you saw and that will be available to see on our YouTube channel in the coming days.
Well, one of the biggest ones we saw, which was a world premiere only at AMB, was the new Starrag Hecker T55. That machine was huge, but the technology in it was unreal. And that it'll be a great addition to their range.
That machine, we were talking about it prior to this podcast, blew me away in regards to horizontal spindle. It had full fifth axis simultaneous, but it was driven with synchronized rotaries either side of the C axis. It had twin pallet. It was a beast of the machine, but the technology on that machine, even from the control system and all the new software that was on that machine, amazing.
They're going to make it. They're going to have a really good go and dent that market, aren't they? Because these machines, from talking to Lee Scott, and in fact, I'm going to Germany with Lee next year to see where these machines are made. They're really affordable to all as well, which some people might be surprised at. So you talk about the technology, but the price point is always important because, engineers have got to get a return on their investment, haven't they? And they've got
to say our turning capability as well.
And it turns too.
Amazing.
Yeah. The perception is for big, large blue chip manufacturers, isn't it? Whereas obviously they do buy them, but clearly it's available for first, second, third, fourth tiers all the way through the SME market.
And the Nikon Innovation Centre as well on the AMRC Park also has a machine from Hecker, which we're going to be looking at in detail as well in the coming weeks, and really showing off the fact that the technology is great, but affordable to all.
Well, there's another one I want to talk about, and that was from the Anchor stand, and it's their new grinding machine, the MX7 Ultra, which they say can make a perfect cutter. Absolutely.
What deems a perfect cutter? You remember
sizes, quality, surface finish. What they're saying is usually when you make a ball cutter, when you go from the shank into the ball on the end, there's normally a bit of mismatch. and they've said no. We can make a perfect cutter every time.
I did see this at IMTS myself, and obviously they've gone from slideways, and then they went to linear, so like the MX7 linear or whatever. Now they've gone to ultra. I don't know if you've ever seen the finish on a linear; it's out of this world. But the ultra's even better.
You're talking about the driving axes on the machine in order to produce the cutting tool. So why is that going to make a difference? Just because of accuracy and precision?
Yeah, it's not actually. It is down to the diameter of the tool, but that's not the end of the world. Machine offsets now, presetters, lasers, you can overcome that fairly easily. But the better that surface finish, the better you're going to get better adhesion with the coating process, things like that, which makes the swarf evacuation better. All these little 5-10% incremental changes make a huge difference over the life of a tool.
Tool life longevity.
And when you look at that linear, you think it can't get any better, but the ultra, it literally looks like someone's been stood there polishing it. It's unbelievable.
And what they've also done with the ultra, sorry, just to jump in, is they've now got the laser on the ultra, so it checks each cutter. So they were saying normally you could get 1 up to 10 of a perfect size, and then it'd start to fade. It says now we can get thousands. We just press go and walk away. It says because the laser will change the machine every time it needs to make sure you get that exact what you've put in.
Okay, we're going to talk about some more of the highlights from both of you shortly. How many videos did you shoot at the event that people can see on our channel in the coming weeks?
44, I believe.
44?
44 videos in 4 days.
The same age as you, Gio.
What did you do on the second day?
And what did you get up to in the evenings? Were you that shattered that you
we were shattered.
Right.
We were shattered, weren't we? We smashed it, but we didn't. We had the tram back, which was about 45 minutes to get back, and by the time we got back, we didn't have much left in the tank.
This is always the dilemma with these events, and those that haven't been to them, finding somewhere to stay that is close to the event is almost impossible. Even looking at EMO next year, which is in September. In fact, EMO finishes, I think, today in a year's time. Even looking for hotels there now, they're just not available. So it is a logistic nightmare sometimes, but being 30 or 40 minutes away actually isn't too bad, is it?
It isn't, because I suppose we didn't go to many parties at nights, which would have just crippled us, wouldn't it, really?
Could have had no sore heads in the morning.
So while these guys were at AMB, we were at the IMTS show. We had, I think it was about 25 live streams. You can see all of those now on our YouTube channel. I'm quickly going to cover the companies that we covered. We were on Volma on Monday, Matsuura on Monday, SW Machine Tools on Monday, Air Turbines on Monday, and Methods Machine Tools on Monday, streaming live. Taking that day, Joe, Volma was the first one. Got to say a big thanks to these guys, because they also were really accommodating for us during the week with our live streams. But
exactly that. Fantastic company, fantastic technology, fantastic people. It helped us out. We went out on, was it the Monday night or the Tuesday night? Went out on a boat party with some of their distinguished guests, and I must say that was unbelievable. So thank you to Peter and his team. Of course, they launched the global. I'm sure it was global premiere, the B Laser 370. I think it was another outstanding machine to add to their portfolio. But yeah, just a great week to be with Volma.
And they had a busy stand most of the time as well, which was that they were nestled in a really good area as well for them, which Peter was saying, which is obviously important at these shows. But if you've not been to IMTS, the footfall, around about, I think, 150,000 people visited that show last week. And when you walk through the aisles, you are literally, even with a slim body like me, I'm kind of having to move left to right. God knows what it must have been like for Joe.
Everyone moves out of the way from it. It's fine.
But it was brilliant to see so many people under one roof looking at so many technologies. So the Volma stream is on our channel. There was also an hour's live stream on the Matsuura stand where we looked at various models. I looked at the Lumex, which is the hybrid additive and subtractive machine, some incredible parts that machine can make. Also the new MX420. It was great to really get back to see the Matsuura guys from the US. We've obviously done so much here in the UK with Matsuura, but being there on their stand in North America was fantastic too. There was SW. You were on SW stand?
Yeah. I covered the automation element, and that's something you can often almost ignore with machine tools, isn't the automation element? But it's obviously twin spindle technology, horizontal fashion, simultaneous 5 axes, again with 2 spindles and 2 rotary tables, for those that don't know. And you would think automating those would be a challenge, wouldn't you? The one I was looking at ammunition, so these are actually a component for a gun, which is obviously a big market in the States for them. But some of these components are as large as this table. If you're watching on the video, they're massive components, and they're moving these rounds like the dustbin lids. It's incredible.
And did they have the is it the Star Wars noise that they?
No, they didn't. That's good, isn't it? How they programmed the machine. I'm not going to make the noise. You can make the noise, but and basically it sounds like Star Wars. It's unbelievable. But again, another. They're all nice people, aren't they? But SW, really nice people, great technology, and a focus on automation.
We were also on the air turbine stand. You can see that live stream on our YouTube channel, also on the Methods Machine Tools stand on the Monday as well. They were 2 20-minute live streams. Tuesday, skipping to Tuesday, Amiga TMM. I wasn't on that. Were you on that stream?
Yeah. That was one of my favourite streams of the week. It's not, if you look at the brand, a massive brand, but we don't see much of them in the UK. For those that don't know, Amiga TMM, so they're making things like presetters and basically all the elements around the machine tool. Good news is it is coming to Europe, this technology. They are looking for distributors as we speak in Europe. So you'll see a lot more of them, but very aesthetically pleasing. They've got some brand new software, what they claim is market leading. So I think we'll see a lot more of Amiga TMM in Europe.
Okay, also we were on the Fanuc stand. We had a 20-minute stream, which was nowhere near enough time. When you ever go to an exhibition, and I'm sure you saw this when you were at AMB as well, the Fanuc stands are awash with not just the machine tools, the control technology, automation. And in fact, they had the largest robot, or a robot with the heaviest payload in the world, picking up a vehicle at the IMTS show, just moving it around. I can't remember what car it was, but it was
a Chevrolet.
Was it Chevrolet? Yeah.
So, yeah.
We also looked at the robo drill in detail, one of the latest models of the robo drill, and talked interestingly about the efficiency of that machine. Everywhere around the world is facing the same crisis when it comes to, I call it a crisis, or facing the additional costs of the energy situation. And of course, with the robo drill machine, you're looking at potentially being 60 or using 60 to 70% less energy on the machine and still achieving similar results to a BT40. So that was a big topic for them at IMTS, which I'm sure was at AMB too. To conclude the Tuesday, you'll be able to find all of these live streams on our YouTube channel and on the MTDCNC website. We were on the Starag and the Akuma stand. On the Starag stand, specifically myself, I was looking at the S191 Neo from Boomertech. That was a machine that, when you look at the complexity of the parts it makes, quite interestingly, the medical sector isn't massive over in the US, but luxury goods is, which could be classed as guns as well. So they use that to make gun barrels and so forth. But on the Starag stand, if you see the stream, it was great to see the diversity between the small, complex, intricate parts they're making on the machines, and then a huge piece of landing gear which has been manufactured using machines from within the Starag group. And then on the Akuma stand, we saw the launch of the new MV560V 5-axis machine, plus a lot of other machine tools. That stand was the biggest, or there was no bigger stand than the Akuma stand at IMTS, and that really rounded off.
Oh, it's that large horizontal. It must have been the largest machine at the show.
We'll put an overlay over it. The size of the cylinder that you could get in there was just massive. It was huge.
Looked like your bath.
My bath's oblong, not round. So that covered us for us Monday and Tuesday. Gio, tell us about some more highlights from AMB that you saw that people will be able to see on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll reel some of them off really quickly because I know we're limited on time today, unfortunately, but we can continue this at a later date, I'm sure. But as mentioned, we've done a lot of world premieres. Another world premiere was on the SW stand on a BA711 machine. Now, you mentioned at IMTS that they're renowned for the twin spindle technology that they offer, but this is a single spindle horizontal machine with trunnion configuration, which is opening up new markets for them, but using all of the same technology that they use on the twin spindle machines. But they had a big focus on their automation on the stand as well, and some of the automation on the top.
Yeah, have you ever seen a machine being loaded from above?
It was brilliant.
It was they had the machine, and then next to the machine they had a platform above with the robot on, so you could walk under it.
Do you know where? The SW factory.
I've seen one of Tony's videos. Actually.
And essentially they were saying they do that so you don't lose floor space, and the robot actually picks the stuff up off the floor. So you don't even have to load it.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I mean, that was a really great visit. And Tom mentioned the Anchor, the Ultra MX-7 Ultra. We went on to Groupers Parker's stand. Fantastic machine tools, the speed liner, the size of that machine, and the capabilities of that were phenomenal. Went on the Torner stand, another world premiere, the Swiss Nano 10. But there was a second world premiere on the Torner stand too, which we didn't review in detail. The Swiss Nano 10, you'll be able to really see that machine being reviewed from us at the show.
Well, that's unreal, isn't it? A little Swiss machine you could fit on this table.
Perfect size for me. Really fills a gap in the market for them in regards to size.
It would look in scale if you
I could actually fit that machine. I could probably fit several of them in my garage without the bar feeders. Went on the Blum stand again. Really phenomenal technology there, and they're really going from strength to strength in regards to their tool and spindle monitoring solutions. Open Mind, one of your clients, Paul, went on their stand. You interviewed Claudio.
Yeah,
from Italy.
what a guy he was. He was cool.
And some of the
He's a really nice guy he was. And
don't say Italians are cool, Tom.
no, I'm sat next to one. I've got to.
Not all of them.
Italy are playing England, by the way. And I'm not looking.
But no, he was so knowledgeable, weren't he? He just knew. And then we met him on the train the morning after, didn't we?
We had a good chat, knowledgeable and very hospitable, and so we're all the team on the stand. And again, they brought over some of them components that were emo. Some of them components are just works of art. Absolutely beautiful components. Herco stand, you went onto the Herco stand.
Had a chat with them, know a little bit about it. So had a chat with them guys, yeah.
And they shared the stand with Takumi, one of our clients for Leader CNC Technologies. Went on the FastEms stand. And again, great technology, great automation solution providers, and they've got some new technology that is now available for the smaller SMEs.
That's a big one for them, isn't it? They're very well known, very well known for for the big companies, large investments. But if they can kind of get into that SME market,
the new solution that we've seen is so compact and so versatile, and it's configurable to suit the work that you do from an automation perspective. Absolutely.
Keep tuned; it will be on the YouTube channel in due course.
Keep an eye out for that one. Goering, Tom, we reviewed 4 different disciplines from them, and their stand was absolutely.
They had the biggest stand at AMB, didn't they? Their stand was just unreal.
But it was rammed. You could not walk. It was rammed.
We were doing the interview, and we were doing a walk and talk interview with me and Gio, and we were swapping when we got to each person.
And I'm slim, and
we had
walking out the way.
We had to use Goering staff members to clear our path to get us through, because it was just.
That's often hard for a cutting tool supplier. Hard for a cutting tool supplier sometimes. I mean, machine tools, things are moving around, chips are flying. It draws attention.
They set it up into different disciplines, so e-mobility, different drills, mould and die. What was another one, Tom? Medical. And they really focused on them different. Different disciplines, and it really drew in a lot of attention, especially the e-mobility.
But the mould and die as well, because the mould and die demonstration they'd done 2 blocks, they'd roughed one and they'd finished one. So then they had the rough block with all the tooling used to rough it, and the finished block with all the tooling used to finish it, and saying exactly why they'd use them tools to do it. And it was just,
And that's a really good point, John. They weren't just showing the tools, were they?
They were showing how they were used.
Applications.
Good.
And there's loads more. I'll let you carry on for the next few days.
I'm just going to run you through the streams that happened on Wednesday and Thursday. We have only got probably 5 or 6 minutes left of this. All of the technologies that we talk about are available to see on the MTDCNC website, the MTDCNC app, and of course our YouTube channel. So the live streams we did at IMTS on the Wednesday: Universal Robots, Lindex Nikon, Autodesk, Fuji America, and Datanomics. There's a couple of points you can pick out on the streams that people should really look out for on the ones that you covered.
Where do you start, really? It's Lindex Nikon, or Nikon as we know them here in the UK, or the technology you would expect from the brand, with a couple of new bits of technology, new bits of tool holding, and some advances on the presetters as well. Definitely worth looking at. Autodesk, more innovations. We focused heavily on Fusion 360, which, for those that don't know, it's a very, I shouldn't say entry level, but the cost base is an entry level cost base, and basically you grow into it as a business. But there's not much it won't do. In truth, it's definitely worth looking at. And we pretty much exclusively covered Fusion 360.
Universal robots, they're a ton of robots, cobots, collaborative robots, industrial robots, everything there to be seen. So do look for that stream as well. Fuji America Corporation, they had 3 machines. Fuji's a brand that we don't see here in certainly in the UK, and not really in Europe, but they are kind of gantry fed, automated cells, twin chuckers. What was really fascinating to me is they had an AGV that was loading, picking parts out of bins, and then the robot was putting the parts into the machine. But this AGV was just using a vision system and just kind of strolling around, I'll pick that bit up from there and bring it. It was really great to see how the future of a machine shop could look. On Thursday, we were at Jurgen's, we were at Modig Machine Tools, Zolla, Schunk, Martin's, Trunnions and Siemens, all live streams from there as well. Joe, I know you were involved in the Siemens stream on that particular day, I believe, weren't you? And the Modig?
Yeah, 2 highlights there. You've highlighted them for me, really. The Modig one, I can't remember the model of the machine, so it escapes me, but the component is literally upside down, not in a horizontal fashion. It's a vertical 5-axis, but flipped the other way up. So the cutting tool is at the bottom, and the component is on top. And obviously swarf evacuation, all the things we know, and swarf being on your side. That I've never seen that configuration before. In fact, it was a brand new launch, and they had multiple sales at the show.
Modig, and Tony's going to Sweden to the Modig factory in a couple of weeks.
That'll be a great trip. He's a lucky man. Lucky man.
So all of those streams, and finally Friday we're on the Tsunami stand. EPH EDM, or is EPH EDM, isn't it?
Yeah.
EPH EDM. We're also on the Siemens stand again, and the Hymer stand.
Yeah, and Trinity.
And Trinity. Any particular highlights that people should look out for there?
I know Hymer's always Sagami. That was great for me. I've known of the name, but we just don't see them here in the UK. And I was blown away by the breadth of the range, the components they were making.
Sliding head, fixed head.
Exactly. Yeah. But Tony covered a machine. Actually had a laser on it. So the screen on the slider was like they smoke it out for laser machines, and literally it was obviously doing everything you'd expect a slider to do, but had a laser on it. Not a laser etch. It was actually removing material. So you imagine these little dental parts where you can't use an end mill because you can't have a radius in the corner. Just lasering out, it's incredible. And the one I covered was some medical components and a special parts catcher, essentially, because you can't drop the parts. It's a medical part and all the rest of it. But yeah, we don't see them again here in the UK, but maybe we should.
Okay, guys, give us the final pieces on AMB. I know there's you can't probably cover everything, but
I'll just run through the list just so that all the names have been dealt with, and then we'll just, if we've got time, touch upon a few of the feature ones. But we went on to the Ward iTech stand, the Watchon machines, long bed, Siemens control, going to be launched in the UK. Heimbach stand, they're really heavily involved in automation, and their current system is perfect for it. Really lends itself to automation. Went on the Siemens stand, digitalisation, and a big focus on digitalisation and working with partners is a big thing for this big $1 billion corporation. Went on the Star stand, brand new release of this SD26 Type S. That's going to be released in November in the UK
at their open house. Star GB here in the UK.
Nakamura met with Steve Brown, the new multitasking machine, but it's the big brother that we've reviewed, the Nakamura JX200, I believe, off the top of my head, but you need to watch that video. Unbelievable technology, built-in automation from inside of the machine, but you can also add a bar feeder, and with the very compact head, it's beautiful machine tool. ZCC, you went onto their stand.
Yes, looked at some of their new products that they've just released, and they've actually now released a aluminium specific face mill, which they didn't have before.
And you really focused on a lot of the stuff on that, and it has some lovely products.
And it's great to get an interview of the guy who's actually on the board behind you.
Oh, okay.
So
you'll see that.
But then went on the Chiron stand, and just quickly, they've got a new machine coming to the UK. And I think it's called the High 5, or it's called the something 5. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's great because you buy it and it comes with a table attached. So you buy it, you design your part. Once you've done that, and your part's running, you bolt automation to the side of it. Once that's running, you bolt your measuring system to the side of it. Once you've got that running, you bolt your dishwasher to the side of it. And it's literally just a jigsaw. You just keep adding bits on. No more machine, just one machine all the way through.
Do you do a video on that?
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that before.
And it does the washing up.
Yeah. I tell you, absolute great machine. The Motor X stand,
Yeah.
They're bringing coolant monitoring into the 21st century
massively, yeah.
by using an app. 1 minute to check your coolant.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, digitalised coolant measurement systems. Man and Hummel, you also reviewed.
Man and Hummel, who have got a brilliant new filter system for any machine, just plug and play. No need for expensive parts. Essentially, get your filter canister, plug it in, your coolant runs through it. When it's full, take it out, backwash it, put it back in.
Wow.
And
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Just a few more. I'll just really quickly run through RoboJob. We looked at their tower solution, unbelievable automated solution that not only automates the component, but it also automates setups, and it utilises the size of the height of your facility rather than the footprint on the floor. Hoffman Group, Norgren, Fat Eco, Grob, another world premiere, G150. They had a few world premieres on that stand. Starag, we've mentioned them, and I think that's about it. We could go into a lot more detail.
I counted it. 44.
What did you do on Wednesday? But yeah, no, joking aside, final one for me. We touched on it short a while ago. Heimer. Again, thanks for the invite to your party. That was unbelievable, their party. Really, really good host to Heimer family. But met a new friend, Sepp. Have you seen Sepp online? Or Sup? Is it Sepp? Basically, he's about a foot in height. This fella. It was a development between Heimer, between Hermley USA and Autodesk, and one of the best demonstration. I don't know if it's engineering or art, to be honest. Absolutely stunning.
Was this on the stream?
It was on the stream. It's pretty much on everyone's social media, mine included as well. And yeah, take a look. Really impressive.
Really good, really good. So, guys, we are going to have to wrap this one up. It's been the last couple of weeks they were just hectic. That's the only way I can describe it. The MTDCNC team, which consists of over 20 people now, were all pretty much dedicated to these two events, and we have produced, I reckon, hours and hours of content. We've already had over 50,000 views on our live streams and other videos produced at the event. So thanks for watching those. If you weren't part of that 50,000 and you haven't seen any of these yet, then go on to the YouTube channel that you're probably watching this on, and you'll be able to find the live streams that we did. And over the course of the next week or two, you'll be able to see a lot of the videos that the guys are talking about from AMB. That's what we aim to do here. We aim to bring the technology to you to save you having to go to these places to see it. So a big thanks also to our staff that have been involved in both these shows. A massive effort in both Europe and in America. So yeah, keep tuned to MTDCNC. Guys, last one, highlight from AMB. I don't want to know about the technology, something outside of the technology that happened. Maybe he fell over, or I don't know.
For me, it was a steak that we had one evening that you had to cook yourself. It was beautiful.
It looks like it was Tom's as well, is it?
Yeah. No, that was a good night.
One of those ones they charge you double and you've got to cook it yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I've never been anywhere I've had to cook my own tea before.
Joe?
For me, the technology side, the Volmer and Heimer parties, Autodesk as well, they were hosting us on the HAS stand. Thanks to all three of those. And yeah, my new friend Seth, really good.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining us. Join us for another MTD podcast very soon.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.